Do you find yourself worrying more than usual? Perhaps you've got a churning in your stomach. You feel a bit tense. Maybe sometimes you're a little bit nauseous. And to round it all off, you can't even sleep at night. Well, you wouldn't be on your own there. Experts say we're in the midst of an anxiety epidemic. So I'm lucky and delighted to be joined today by an expert in the subject, Jane Evans, who joined us today from Wiltshire. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here today. Now, Jane, you also spoke at a recent TEDx talk, and when I listened to that, I heard you say that not only is anxiety on the increase, but it's affecting our children, and even babies are being medicated for it. What is going on?
Yes, sadly, that is a fact now. As you said, there is an epidemic going on. We are at a time when, in much of the Western world, we have more resources than ever before. We have more technology. We have, just things in abundance. Actually, mental illness and poor mental health is an increasing problem in many people's lives, even at a very low level.
And so why is it affecting our children more than, as much as it is for adults as well? What's happening there?
Well, I think there are several things which are going on, and it's not just me who thinks that. If you observe our daily lives now, there's a great deal of pressure on both parents or, if you're parenting on your own, as I did for several years, to be out to work. Being a parent is not deemed as enough. You have to generate money in the economy, which comes very much from the current government that we've had for far too long now. And, they believe that, it's all about the market economy and everybody's got to work. But that doesn't sit well with actually the needs of parents, and certainly not with the needs of children. They do much better off when they can have some unpressurized time together. But, if your daily life revolves around, right, get up, get the children up, get them ready, get myself ready, make sure I've got all my work stuff, quickly check my social media, they're checking their social media, you can't get them off it, and then you've got to get them in the car and drive them somewhere, and then you've got to get yourself somewhere, and then at the end of the day, repeat. You can see without anything else how that is already stressful to everybody.
Okay, so basically it's filtering down to our children. The anxiety rubs off on everyone.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, our children are wired into our emotional state. Mm-hmm. They were, even if we didn't carry the children, even if the children have come to us through, fostering or adoption, quite quickly they're trying to synchronize their emotional state to mm-hmm. ours, because we're the most important person in their lives.
Right.
So whatever our faces might be saying, mm-hmm. they will pick up on stress and anxiety in our bodies.
Right. And Jane, what's the difference between having anxiety and perhaps being a little bit stressed for not getting to a place or a destination on time? How do we know that there's a difference?
Very good question. Yeah. I mean, stress is normal. It's a part of everyday life, and a little bit of stress, quite frankly, for me, definitely works very well. Otherwise I could I'm very distractible and I'll just be off down some road being excited about something I shouldn't be. So a bit of stress is good. It kind of fuels you up and it gets you to the end game. Anxiety is when that stress goes on and on and on. And it's the kind of thing when you wake up in the morning and almost on waking, you start thinking, oh, I didn't, I shouldn't, I can't. Oh, have I, haven't I? That's the difference when it's prolonged. And actually, if we were able to step away from ourselves, we'd see also that it's really irrational.
So it becomes like a habit or a way of being rather than triggered by any event.
Sometimes it is triggered by an event. But if we have that wired into our body and our brain, this strong link with anxiety, then quite quickly that can tip us over the edge. And then, even when the resolution has come, it's triggered so much in our bodies and in our brains that getting back to your kind of natural resting state of just going about your daily life becomes increasingly difficult. And actually, sometimes you can't even remember what it felt like not to feel anxious.
Okay, so that's when you know that you've got an issue with anxiety and you need to seek help. So Jane, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the brain.
Okay, well, the brain and the body are much more interlinked than we believe. I mean, we know that our brain is housed within our body, but we've become obsessed with the brain. So we've lost the kind of valuing the connection between the two. So in the brain, often what happens is that the body picks up on something that makes it feel anxious, and that shoots messages to the brain. And it initially goes to the least intelligent part of our brain, which is why when we're anxious, we are not very clever. And so it goes to the part of our brain that's just about survival. It's not thoughtful, it's not intelligent, there's no intellect involved in it. It's about fight, flight, or freeze. And, if we are consistently anxious, then we spend a lot of time down in that lower part of our brain. So we become more illogical, more panicked, more likely to flick into either immobility or just wanting to get away, or feeling really angry and, wanting to lash out, but maybe suppressing it. And, the part of the brain that can actually help us is the very upper part of our brain. That's our most intelligent brain.
Okay.
But it will go offline if we are overly anxious.
Okay. And so what's the remedy for anxiety? What should we do about it?
Well, it's long.
Where do we start?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's quite an individual. I mean, I say to people that I coach, I almost give them their own prescription, because different things, depending on your early childhood, will have greater or lesser benefits. Some of it your system will like, some of it will not. But the most simple thing that we all have every day that we can use is how we breathe.
Okay.
So, if you can't take on board anything else, then learning to breathe in a way that when we're anxious, we mostly live in our upper body.
Okay.
Okay, so our breathing is much more, it's upper body, it's upper chest.
Right.
But actually we're meant to breathe. When we breathe in, we're meant to breathe right down, right into our pelvis, actually, is where we're meant to breathe. But not many of us do, hence why we get lower body problems, so digestive problems, back pain, low bowel problems, all that. We're not actually sending good oxygen down into the lower part of our body at all.
That's really interesting. Was practices like yoga be helpful in that sort of discipline of breathing properly?
They can be, if the person who is teaching you the yoga knows about all of these things.
Okay.
Some people, the yoga is about the burn and the sweating and the. If you can find, I work very closely with a colleague of mine who's a holistic yoga practitioner, and she is very well educated in the physiology of anxiety and trauma. So if you find somebody like Claire Murphy, who I work with, then you're onto a winner, because she can carefully guide you inside of yourself and help with all of this. If you get the wrong person, then sometimes it's not that helpful. We're all individuals, and what works for one person won't necessarily be the right thing for another, but breathing is always a good thing. And if you Google belly breathing,
right,
for a start,
okay.
that's a good start.
Okay. And what do you do for apart from getting your breathing right, what other practices do you partake in that help you to keep calm and level-headed during the day? Okay,
well, the most important thing to know is that this is not stuff to start doing when you are anxious. This is to be done every single day of your life, as much as is humanly possible.
Okay.
So I do a little bit of yoga every day, but I do it in a very mindful way. So although this is hard for me, I try not to start obsessing about my emails whilst I'm doing my tree or whatever I'm doing. I try to notice what's happening in my body, and to concentrate on my breathing and sending my breath right down into my pelvis. That's good yoga.
Okay.
The kind of yoga I used to just do was just do all the stretches, tick, go. So I start every day. Every day when I wake up, I think of 3 things to be grateful for. And when I'm lying in my bed, I say, I am grateful for my bed. I'm alive. I have a toilet that flushes. 3 things, pretty simple. Then when I get out of bed, as soon as I can, I go do my yoga.
Okay.
Then I do some journaling. So I just write literally in an unedited way whatever just comes off the end of my pen.
Okay.
I'm not writing for a book. I'm not writing. I just literally, then I write who I'm going to serve that day, what I'm going to do for them and why.
Okay.
And I try and finish with like a 2-minute guided meditation. And then, throughout the day, I might access, if I'm having a particularly bad day, I might just find a quick guided meditation on YouTube and just go sit quietly somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've also discovered some very high grade, therapeutic grade essential oils.
Right.
And they are the best thing I think I've found so far.
And do you smell them? Do you put them in a burner, or do you use the rub them on your skin? How does that work?
Well, these ones are so pure that you can put them on your skin.
Okay.
You can smell them. You can ingest some of them, and I also diffuse them as well. And again, it's finding the ones that work for you. So I found one in particular that is just like, as soon as I put it on me, I start to really, I have to not put too much on.
What's this one called, Jane? Just so we know.
Well, the actual one that I use, but as I say, it's this particular make, is myrrh.
Myrrh,
so
okay.
It's one of the old precious oils,
okay.
That the wise
men used.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
It was probably wise women, actually. But
yeah, I should imagine it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's
really... They gave them to them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been really interesting talking to you, Jane. Before I let you go, where can people find out more about you and what you're doing, your work?
Well, I have a website, so all the W's, thejaneevans.com, and you can find out about my coaching, my speaking, my training, my books, my TED Talk.
Okay.
Just about everything, really.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute delight, and I know I've learned a lot, and hopefully our audience will have done as well. So thanks so much.
It's my pleasure.
Bye, Jane. So that was Jane Evans, parenting and anxiety expert. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. But tell us a bit more about what you're worrying about. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us on all the normal social media sites if you want to join in the conversation. And you can email me. That's harriett@wellbeingexaminer.com, and Harriet with 2 R's and 2 T's. And in the meantime, together let's be happy, healthy single mums.